Today, we're breaking down a newly sourced text that outlines what it calls a highly strategic, calculated counter-offensive. And get this, according to the document, this involves a completely unique alliance between former First Lady Melania Trump and Kash Patel. We're going to strictly analyze the claims made in this text, looking closely at the strategies, the alleged evidence, and the massive potential impact it outlines for some upcoming federal hearings. Right off the bat, the source establishes this incredibly dramatic tone. I mean, we're not talking about your standard political rhetoric here. The text frames this as a meticulously planned operation. It suggests that a hidden cache of highly sensitive documents is literally about to be deployed to completely challenge official narratives. So, to really deconstruct these claims, we're going to follow the text's own playbook. We'll look at the Shadow Alliance, go inside the protection vault, see how they plan on weaponizing the information, changing the rules, and finally look at the impending showdown. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the Shadow Alliance. The source designates Kash Patel as the architect. It points heavily to his deep intelligence background, specifically his time on the House Intelligence Committee and serving as a former chief of staff at the Department of Defense. Because of his key role in previous high-profile investigations, the blueprint argues he's uniquely positioned to execute this entire strategy. The source even specifically notes his past heated showdown energy in congressional hearings as proof that he essentially treats these events like a real information battlefield. Now, on the other side of this alliance, we have Melania Trump. While historically operating in this realm of calculated silence, the blueprint outlines a major shift to action. It positions her as the guardian of the narrative. According to the text, she brings the high-level access and provides the actual physical documentary script for Patel to execute. It's a partnership that the text claims pairs tactical brilliance with unprecedented access. Moving right along to Section 2, inside the protection vault. This is where it gets really interesting. The source defines this protection vault as way more than just defensive legal paperwork. It describes it as a comprehensive digital and physical chronicle of federal conduct over nearly a decade. According to the text, we're talking about meticulous, contemporaneous notes and security logs kept directly by the former First Lady and her staff when all the cameras were off. So you're probably wondering, what do these files actually show? Well, the text claims they contain hard evidence of procedural anomalies. The main argument here is that these logs document specific instances where standard operating procedures were just completely bypassed or ignored by federal agents. And to Patel, according to the source, these aren't just minor technicalities. They are the literal foundation for dismantling an entire investigation. That brings us to Section 3, weaponizing the information. Patel's strategy, according to the source, relies on a very direct, highly visual contrast. The tactic is basically to take the official sworn testimony or official reports from the FBI and just collide them directly with the private, documented reality found in Melania's files. It's all about forcing the system to confront its own alleged contradictions in real time. To really ground this idea, the blueprint alleges a very specific example, which is the 2022 search of the Mar-a-Lago residence. The text states that Melania's files hold a precise minute-by-minute timeline of that day. And when you overlay her private timeline with the official FBI narrative, the source argues that massive gaps start to appear. We're talking unaccounted time and interactions that were apparently never reported to the courts. This timeline is the specific ammunition the text says will be used to completely reshape these hearings. Moving on to Section 4, changing the rules. The text outlines this really systematic deconstruction process. First, secure the assets. Next, run that comparative analysis between the private logs and the official testimony. Then comes the presentation of those contradictions, all leading to the ultimate goal, which is dismantling the moral high ground of the investigation entirely. The source claims Patel leverages his deep knowledge of intelligence law to try and prove systemic institutional bias. The overarching philosophy outlined here really shows why this matters so much. You see, the ultimate goal isn't just winning a single legal battle. It's about creating a lasting narrative of what the text calls the overreached state. The strategy is designed to permanently alter how federal accountability operates. The logic goes, if standard procedures can be bypassed for a First Lady, they can be bypassed for absolutely anyone. And finally, Section 5, the impending showdown. The text suggests that the stakes literally could not be any higher here. If Patel successfully executes this strategy and systematically exposes these alleged unorthodox protocols, the source predicts it could set an entirely new precedent. The text argues this could lead to a total overhaul of federal oversight, potentially curtailing the FBI's power severely and subjecting their methods to just unprecedented transparency. The source maps out a very specific equation for all of this. You take the high-level claims of unorthodox protocols and procedural anomalies, and you back them up with the proposed evidence, so the security logs and private communications. The intended result of that combination is the exposure of institutional bias and a massive institutional shift. It's essentially a calculated chain reaction. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with the ultimate question posed by the text itself. The source has laid out this highly detailed, almost cinematic blueprint for challenging federal authority. But will this combination of secret archives and legal strategy really be the checkmate that forces a fundamental change in the FBI? Or will the establishment, as the text asks, just shield itself once again? It's absolutely a fascinating strategic breakdown of the information war happening behind the scenes. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and remember, keep questioning how the rules of engagement are actually written.